me, but I'm actually in South Korea now, having chosen the World Cup squad, and I want to tell you a little bit about the selection because, well, I told you a lot about it the last time. I ended up with a squad looking like this, and well, the trouble with this squad or the weak point is obviously the forwards. But I'm only playing with one guy up in front, and Giggs can also play that position. So I chose this just to make sure that I have an adequate amount of players in the defense and in the midfield, especially in the midfield where I'm playing with five. Um, and then I went with three keepers because, well, that's what you do when you pick a World Cup squad. A few small changes since last time is Jason Bowen. Well, one of the reasons I chose him is that he's playing quite well. He went from being a backup player in Birmingham to actually playing in Stoke. And then Jeff Williams, I chose him as well on the right back position. Well, he played. He's getting promoted, so why not? Then Damien Jarman, that's quite a success story. I don't know if you can read all that I wrote about him, but he has been named man of the match four times in 10 matches in Premier League, and is now the number one goalkeeper in Newcastle. So of course I had to choose him, and well, he's basically my second choice as goalkeeper at the moment. So that's quite a surprise, but a nice one. Then also, I think I should mention that Gary Speed has finally requested a transfer in Everton, a very successful club in this game. Um, well, he has a lot of competition, trying to get games against the likes of Danielson and Rivaldo and such, and John Oster for that matter. So I'm just glad he requested a transfer and ended up in a club that actually wants him. Right, so I know everyone is just waiting for the World Cup to begin, so I don't want to bore you with going on and on about these results, but it's the end of the season, so I just want to show you some of these screens, the different winners of the different European competitions and the English leagues. One big surprise is I don't know, wait a sec. This is Division Two, top to bottom first. Luckily, Southampton didn't go down. Well, Violet Ball Club was the surprise that I wanted to talk to you about. I think mainly it's because there are so many Danish players in the game. Um, because I made Denmark one of the playable national teams. So Juventus win the Champions League, and that means we are just about ready for the two friendlies that I have to play before the actual World Cup starts. And, well, friendlies are not that exciting. So, for that reason, you can watch me eat a little breakfast while I'm playing the first one. It's against Hong Kong. And I've sped up the pace a lot. So, it shouldn't take too long. I don't want to bore you. But then again, I think it's also boring just showing you a screenshot. So why not just play the match in high speed? See, Hong Kong, they actually got a goal, so it's not because it was just a walkover. They're not doing too bad, and I'm trying out some stuff, basically playing some of the players I wouldn't normally choose, as you can probably tell. Both Davies brothers playing together, and Andy Davies getting a goal for Wales. So that's great, and that was basically it. The next thing that happened was a bit unfortunate with an injury for Bowen, whom I selected over a backup keeper. No, sorry, a backup forward, of course. He's out a couple of weeks, so he might be back in the World Cup squad if I continue from the group stage, which I probably won't. But anyway, I also sped up this match. Here, I think I'm talking about how this is the same formation and the same team that I'll probably be using in the first group match against Ireland. So I'm playing against Austria. They're a pretty decent opposition. They're lining up like this, which looks a lot like the way that Argentina is playing actually, and well, sort of similar to Brazil as well, but exactly like Argentina. So let's see what happens. This is most of the first match being played already. And this is an away match in Austria, so it's not super easy. You'd expect Austria to win, but maybe we can get a little bit of self confidence in a match like this. Um, yeah, and I hope it's all right with you guys that I'm doing this like real quick just to get to the interesting stuff in the World Cup. Um, I won't be playing the first group match until the next upload. So this one is basically about the two friendlies, then about an analysis of the group, the other teams in the group, and then the first match from the group, which doesn't involve me. It's a match against Brazil and Argentina, so that's not too bad. This, however, is pretty bad. A couple of weeks for Andy Davies as well, so I'll have to do without him. I mean, he would have been a backup forward anyway, but you see how I'm running out of those, so I'm hoping that the rest of the squad can stay uninjured. So, like I told you, the first match from our group, you'll be watching all of that because those are two amazing teams. Brazil, they're lining up in a formation like this. And I think if I should have a chance, then it's not necessary with the extra guy in the central midfield. So I'm moving him up like this, probably. And I hope that's not too optimistic, but I want to play my chance. Anyway, Argentina, they have a really weird squad. For one thing, they only have one goalkeeper, and then they don't have a lot of defenders. Obviously, that's because they have like tons of amazing forwards, like we all know Batistuta and so on. But you can see the names anyway. They've got so many forwards and not enough defenders to actually um, play good football, is what I'm thinking. So I think we might have a chance against mighty Argentina, and I'm tipping Brazil to beat them. I think it would be stupid to play with an attacking lineup against Argentina because they've got the three-man central midfield that'll leave too much room for whoever's playing in the middle, Simeone probably. So I'm choosing this, even though the central defenders can go up and do a lot of passing up the midfield. But I think that's our best chance. The Republic of Ireland squad looks like this, and they're lining up in a 4-4-2, or at least that's what I expect them to do. I'll give you the analysis of how I want to play Ireland next time, where I'll actually play them. But here are the first results coming in from the actual World Cup. So it has begun. Saudi Arabia with a bit of a surprise right there, and England only managing a draw against Nigeria. So we're just about ready for Brazil and Argentina.
I am going to be among the spectators uh, when this game is being played. Brazil versus Argentina. And we're going to face both of these teams, and I'd be interested to see how they play against each other. Brazil lining up like this, and Argentina. Oh, whoops, didn't really catch it, but Argentina with a 3-5-2. Or sorry, it's a 5-3-2 like this. So that's interesting to see how it goes with these two giants meeting each other. Actually, Argentina has the first goal, but I'm actually thinking that Brazil is the better team of the two, just because of their squad selection. Oh, there we go. So Brazil gets a goal, and we're even. A lot of stuff happening, and Brazil deserves to be ahead, but they're not. So let's see what happens. They are now. So a 3-1 victory with Rivaldo, Juninho, Giovanni playing well, and also Conceição. Alright. Yeah. Yep. So they're a pretty good team, to say the least. That'll be very interesting. And now it's match day. I'm going to save, and then going to play this match at a later date when I'm really in South Korea.
Yeah, and you guys probably didn't believe me when I said that. Yeah, I know I sounded really tired and stuff, especially compared to how I sound now, because now I just played that match and the other match in South Korea. And if you can hear what people are talking about behind me, then it's probably because you can understand Korean, because I'm not lying when I'm saying that I'm there, and you'll get to see it next time when I actually play the next match. Well, that's against Republic of Ireland, and if I don't get a result in that match, then well, I have a problem because well, the other two matches they're going to be really difficult. So, for that reason, I'm not going to line up like this. This is too defensively. It's a match that I just have to win. And I don't need the three central midfielders because I'm pretty sure they'll line up in a 4-4-2 because they've done so for most games when they've not faced really hard opponents in away games. So for most home games and games against opponents of the same strength, well, they're lining up in a 4-4-2. So I'm going to do this and have either Giggs or Carl Davies play the position behind John Hartson. And I'm really hyped and psyched to get this going and see how it actually goes when we play the first World Cup match. Because obviously, if I lose this one, well, then everything is lost. So I'm going to be really nervous. And you have something to look forward to because I'm going to play this, well, not live, but directly from South Korea, which isn't even the World Cup venue in the game. Because for some reason, the game just says World Cup 2002 in Japan. But I'm here to avenge that for the South Koreans. And I'm here in Seoul playing Championship Manager 1997-98 for your pleasure.